at UC Riverside called the Data Science Challenge. First, we'll talk a little bit about where we're coming from today, Lawrence Livermore National Lab, in case you haven't heard of that place. And then we'll talk specifically about the challenge. I think the purpose of this info session and what this info session usually turns into is a question and answer. So any questions you have about the program in general that we're able to answer here today, we'd like to do so. So let me start by properly introducing myself. So like I said, my name is Omar Deguchi. I'm the lead of the Data Science Challenge. I'm a data scientist at the lab, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. I work in the computing directive. There's many directives, including computing, engineering, things of that nature. I primarily work in global security. I do a lot of work in applied machine learning, some research in machine learning for applications to global security. My main interests are, generally in deep learning for object detection, building robust AI. And my background is that I came from UC Merced, so I got my PhD in applied mathematics at UC Merced, where I was doing, a lot of signal processing applications, things like denoising images, medical imagery, and things like that. And that turned into an interest late in my graduate career into, machine learning applications in that field. So, yeah, that's my family now, who's missing my 1-year-old child, because this is an old picture. And I've done, some work with Air Force Research Labs, and I interned at the lab, and that was my pathway to the lab. So Mary, do you want to talk about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Mary Silva, and I'm a data scientist. Unlike Omar, I can more freely talk about the work that I do at the lab because I work in predictive biology. You can see the picture at the bottom right. I like to put this picture because this is just one group at the lab. So the group is really large. It's called GUIDE, stands for Generative Unconstrained Intelligent Drug Engineering. And this team actually helped to develop the antibody vaccine for COVID-19. So I started in 2020, right around the time the COVID outbreak occurred. And so they had this high demand for people that, had a machine learning background, statistics background that could quickly and rapidly work with lab biologists, wet lab researchers to take their data, train models, use it to either find antibody targets that can neutralize the virus at the time. And so that's a very large ongoing project. It's been going for about 4 years now. It's supposed to be a 5-year project. Shifted away from like COVID and more towards like general viruses. Same applications apply to like cancer research, so developing therapeutics for cancer. But again, I don't like to mislead people because I talk about my work in predictive biology and people assume that my background is in biology. I actually really had very little training in biology. I think I took maybe the required bio courses in undergrad, and that was about it. So working at the lab is very much a place where you actually have to learn and work with the experts in that field in order to like enhance your skills and enhance whatever goal you're trying to reach when it comes to biology. Working collaboratively with the experts to help you understand what your results are telling you. It's a really exciting way to kind of enter the field of data science. One thing that Omar didn't mention is that we were both interns. So my first job at the lab was actually my first research job. I was an intern in the Data Science Summer Institute. And it's a great place to like really learn from your mentor, a great place to network. And even if you don't end up, working at the lab, I feel like the skills you learn during your internship program will help you in your career and in your research if you're continuing on to grad school. And so this program specifically is really exciting to us because we kind of come from that sort of same trajectory where we started as interns. We want to get the future generation to kind of get into the lab, learn what we do, help us help you advance your career. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, talking about the program, talking about how you can become more involved at the lab. Yeah, so UC Riverside is pretty far away from where we actually are located. We're located, if you look us up, it technically says we're from the Bay Area, but if you live in the Bay Area, people argue it's not the Bay Area. So if anyone's, ever been to like San Francisco Bay Area expecting to find Livermore, you're not gonna find it. It's definitely in the hills. But it still has like the same kind of industry environment, like, lots of research that you could connect with industry partners from the area and learn from them. And so if you were to look us up, I would say the first thing, there's probably three main things that come up when you look at Lawrence Livermore National Lab. One is, the first thing that comes up is we are responsible for safeguarding the national nuclear stockpile, which of course, like I don't work on that. Some people at the lab definitely work on that. It's not the primary. It's not the primary. There's more to it than that. The second thing you will probably find when you look up Lawrence Livermore National Lab is the National Ignition Facility. Of course, they achieved ignition in 2022. So net energy creation, basically creating more energy than is input. And then the third thing that pops up, which is probably relevant to anyone in the data science field, which is we have the fastest supercomputer in the world. So LCAP, I think we both probably have the ability to access that.
Yeah.
So, especially in the field of like AI and data science, it's very much a place where you can, grow your skills and really, it's exciting. Yeah, go ahead. So aside from those three things that will pop up when you look up the lab, we also have a lot of different research areas. So these are some of the core competencies. A lot of people that come through the Data Science Challenge program, think of it as, Omar will go into more detail, but think of it as a networking opportunity. So you have this opportunity to meet with researchers in the field of high performance computing, of course, but also the field of like additive manufacturing, nuclear forensics. We have mentors in everything from like climate sciences. So there's people that actually, when I first started, I was working on hurricane modeling, which is like completely different from what I do now. But yeah, there's a bunch of mentors, a bunch of great people that you can meet during these 2 weeks that you can either follow up with to build a connection for either full-time internships or potentially convert to full-time, which we have some stories about people that have successfully done that. Yeah. Again, this is more of what I've just kind of talked about. National Ignition Facility, you can think of the lab as like a bunch of different companies within the like research areas in the lab. So you can, for the most part, we work in computing and have really no communication with people that work in, for instance, Site 300, and sometimes it overlaps. You could have no connection with somebody that works at National Ignition Facility, but you hear a lot of good things come from, what they're doing over there. So it's really, the opportunities are endless in terms of like, especially in data science, you have so many different pathways to continue to either learn more. If you want to be more of a general data scientist, you can apply the same skills to various different projects. Or if you want to like specifically hone in on like a specific field, like for what I've done, which is predictive biology. So yeah, we like to put this slide because one of the main questions people ask us is like, what percentage of people are like undergraduates? What percentage are master's student? What percentage work in engineering, computing? And so this is a little bit of an older slide, but it's still pretty close to what our numbers show today, which is that we hire everyone. I think a lot of people are intimidated by the fact that we're a research facility. They think you have to have a PhD in order to get your foot in the door. That's actually not the case. You can see by the numbers we have here. Majority of our workforce is there's a large portion of PhD students, but there's also a large portion of undergraduates and a large portion of people with like associate's degrees or trade degrees. And so don't be discouraged or intimidated by, you have to be I think the work ethic is what's most important too when it comes to getting hired and interning at the lab. Work ethic is more important than I think anything else. You have to work well with others. You have to really want to learn and continue to learn basically for the rest of your career. again, applying it to different areas, either technical, science and technology, research and development. So yeah, there's a lot of different opportunities regardless of your educational background. We're listed as Glassdoor. This is kind of like, I guess, a bragging point for a lot of people at the lab. We're listed as one of the best places to work. I certainly agree with that, just simply because, again, I was an intern, and so you have to think that I must have enjoyed it so much that I continue to work here. I've been at the lab for 5 years now. I would say the most exciting thing about working in the lab is it's very comfortable, it's very casual. I was joking earlier that like today I'm dressed more formally than I think I dress when I actually go into work, which is just t-shirt and jeans. And you'll see that a lot. Some shorts, it's very comfortable because like what matters is the research. And so, if the research or just, working with your team and whatever project you're on, I think is the best part of the lab. And I would say the fact that we're constantly learning something new. Obviously, like AI is causing everything to move at a much faster pace, but the ability to work with other people and learn from them and make sure that you're not just, using AI blindly. I think everyone at the lab kind of keeps you in check in that sense. But yeah, continuing to learn, sort of have this mindset of, if I get bored, I could try something new. Like that is always an option at the lab. Like I said, I joined the lab more in the climate sciences, environmental modeling. And then I was like, COVID's happening. Let me go reach out to some mentors. And it was right at the time when I was, looking to apply full time. And I basically took every single model that I was already using for climate modeling, and I just applied it to something new. And so, yeah, one of the great places to work. We have a lot of industry partners as well. Speaking for myself, I mean, Omar, you might be able to answer this as well, but we work from everything with partners from AstraZeneca. So one of the vaccine collaborators that we were working on was AstraZeneca. They gave us data, we give them data. We also work with Kaiser to get patient healthcare records. I actually have an intern here, a former intern here that might be able to speak to that a little bit more. In some cases, we're looking directly at patient data, anonymized patient data, and using it to train models. And so, yeah, it's definitely a place where you're going to continue to meet new people, continue to learn from the best and the brightest.
Yeah, and just before we jump into the data science challenge specific information, I'll say the other thing that the lab is really good at doing is promoting work-life balance. We're, Silicon Valley adjacent, and that might not always be the case. But the lab really emphasizes, that their employees, really take care of themselves and have like a good work-life balance. So. Oh, that was a transition. So we need problem solvers. That's what this slide is telling me. And really, so what is the data science challenge, right? This is what you guys are here for. So basically, the data science challenge is a 2-week program, open to both undergrads and grads, specifically from UC Merced and UC Riverside, right? So what that means is that, the applicant pool is much smaller, better chance to get into the program, right? And over the course of those 2 weeks, we'll give you kind of a curated data set that was put together by some of our scientists that is mission relevant. So it has, some real life applicability to work being done at the lab. And we give this to you and your group along with some guidance from scientists, subject matter experts in that area in order to answer a few challenge questions, but most importantly, kind of explore, your solutions to answer those challenge questions as part of the data. So this program started in 2019. That's when Mary and I were interns for another program. And it was first only held with UC Merced. And then in 2021, Riverside joined. And since then, we've had, other schools joined in the process. But really, the major presence of the Data Science Challenge has been UC Merced and UC Riverside. This slide is highlighting kind of some of the problems that we've explored in the past. So things like, drug discovery, predicting heart health, right, with ECG data. We don't give you the method. We give you maybe a primer to a method that you could possibly use. But really, once we give you the data, it's really yours to do with to solve in some manner. So you can see that, there's a variety of challenge problems that we've done in the past. So this year, the challenge, last year, and there's some students in here that can attest to this, the challenge was computer vision based challenge. So this was computer vision using a curated data. So we had subject matter experts present, what the data was. There was some sense of occlusion in the data set, meaning like if the intention was to track an object in the data set, if it went behind something, can you figure out, the location behind something where it was, given some like predictive analytics. And then really the focus on that is because it's like a sub-application of autonomy, right? So in addition to this synthetic data set that scientists at the lab had kind of curated to test out, new methods for this kind of computer vision problem, we also had a scientist gather data for an automated lab application. So you can think of something like a robot arm that's picking up vials, right? We want that robot arm to have some sense of computer vision input when it's, moving vials from like one case to another case. And so you can imagine that the occlusion problem has some application in there. So these are some of the posters that were presented at the end of the challenge. So at the end of the 2 weeks, you and a team of 5 to 4 other students with a team lead that's typically, but not always, a graduate student. It can be an undergraduate team lead. We've had that in the past. But you and your team will, initially strategize how you're going to approach the challenge problems, what kind of, let's say, models that you're going to use, what are the performance metrics that you want to use to show your progress. And then at the end of those 2 weeks, you will create a poster with all your results. And we will hold a poster session where we invite, not only scientists from the lab, not only the mentors that come and visit during the 2 weeks, because there are mentors that will come visit, not just the subject matter experts, but more generally other scientists from the lab come in and we have them present to you their experience, what kind of research that they're doing, and answer general questions, about their time at the lab. They'll come in, but we also invite, the higher ups, so to speak, from, computing, engineering, materials labs. And it's really fun. We've had, the director of the lab come in and talk to students for a couple years now. We've had a head of directorate. So like Mary and I are part of the computing directorate. And the head of that directorate comes in and walks around and really takes, the poster session's 2 hours. And I believe like he's been there all 2 hours talking to students. And so really the end of the data science challenge, like Mary said, it's an opportunity to network and showcase your skills, your talents over the course of those 2 weeks. So, here we had that occlusion data set. This team had an application, to cars. They picked a UNet things like that.
Really quickly, I didn't realize you could use this slide, but I want to highlight this poster because Wilson Law was one of the undergraduate team leads, and he actually is now an intern, and a fall intern, and has completely impressed a lot of people at the lab. So it just kind of highlights that you can go from this program, use it as a networking resource, a way to meet a potential mentor for the next, either the fall or the summer. And I mean, he's on track to potentially converting to full time. His work has been has caught the attention of a lot of people at the lab. So yeah, I think it's really great that we put this slide here.
Yeah, we have another poster here just to kind of show the variety of, approaches that teams take, right? How they want to display their data. You know, the challenge problems aren't meant to be a race between groups, right? You don't get a prize for having the best results. And so really the focus is that your team learned something, you came up with some result that, helped you learn about occlusion, computer vision, LSTMs, whatever it may be. And some people might be an expert in putting together the posters, some person might be an expert in implementing the model, another person might be an expert in visualizations. And so really the key takeaway here is that, even if you feel like you don't have very strong machine learning skills, apply anyway. That's the whole point of this program, is for, people to learn in general. And you definitely learn in your groups. So, like I said, we, even if you feel your skills aren't adequate in machine learning, we still encourage you to apply. We painstakingly take efforts to try being the operative word here, try to balance teams in terms of experience, right? So there could be some people that don't have any experience with data science, but they're really strong programmers, or somebody that's like an expert in, machine learning, but maybe is not an expert in like the subject matter. And so really, just everyone can bring something to the table in this. So really, we encourage everybody to apply, even if you're not a computer science major or, a data science major. Yeah, we encourage you to apply. So this summer, we have a pretty exciting problem that is a hot topic, I think, of the time, where, we will be challenging students to develop an agentic workflow for a data set in additive manufacturing materials data set. So you're going to create, agents that will help you perform data exploration, visualization, whatever you think is important in exploring that data. You'll be tasked to, make whatever tool or effort that you're interested in accessible to this agentic workflow, and then use that agentic workflow to either answer some problems about the data set generally or very specifically. Really, it's up to you. And this data set, again, it's additive manufacturing data set, which you'll learn more about during the data science challenge problem. So what do you need to apply? It's open, like I said, to both undergraduate and graduate students who are, interested in data science or related disciplines. We've had people who were biology majors, business majors even, that participated in the challenge. So really, all disciplines are welcome. You have to be actively pursuing a degree in mathematics, computer science, engineering science, or other relevant fields. I think other relevant fields is like all fields, basically. And then have some computational experience. So whatever the coding language may be, just that you have some experience with a coding language. Like I said, you'll be placed in a group, hopefully, based on your experience if you're chosen for the data science challenge. And we try to balance it out so that, not one group just has zero experience in all aspects, right? Okay.
If anyone has any questions, I feel like
Yeah,
you can
please.
jump in on any time.
Yes,
You didn't mention this, but just to confirm, you don't need to be a US citizen, right?
correct. You do not need to be a US citizen to participate in this year's challenge. Yeah. Okay, so what does the application process look like for undergraduates? You need to provide a statement of interest, right? Like, why do you think the data science challenge, you're a good fit for the data science challenge? What do you hope to gain out of the data science challenge? You'll also need to provide like any prior experience that you think would be valuable to the data science challenge. Like I said, things like programming, any subject matter expertise that you have. Graduates who are not applying to be team leads, the letter of recommendation is optional, right? Encouraged, but optional. If you do provide a letter of recommendation, it needs to be from a professor, and they'll, email it directly to the email address, and it'll be due by March 15th. And then include your resume, right? Any projects that you think are relevant to the data science challenge are what you should list, and that exhibit any skills that you think would be helpful for you in the data science challenge. For graduates, the process is pretty similar in terms of the statement of interest. The thing that we ask for graduates is to describe your kind of experience and responsibilities as a leader. Most of our group leaders are graduate students, masters and PhDs alike. And you will have the opportunity to be a leader of your group if you choose so. For graduate students, we do require a letter of recommendation from your graduate advisor, same submission process, same due date. And then again, resume with any of your current research that you feel exhibit the skills that, would make you a good candidate for the challenge. So what to expect as a team member? You're going to participate and work with your group in trying to solve, a data problem. It says bioscience data problem, but that's, I think, old. You'll work with, scientists, engineers, technical staff. We often have a lot of mentors who just want to stop by. I usually try to strong arm people that are working in my projects to come by and talk to you guys and help you out, look at the problem, look at your work so far. I think an important part of the data science challenge, or a skill that I would like participants to gain, is the ability to talk about your research, right? I think this is important. And so giving you that opportunity by having scientists, stop by, see what you're working on, explain to them what you're working on, I think you get a good experience doing that. You'll gather and analyze the data. We'll initially give you a primer on the data, how to load it, things like that. But other than that, it's up to you. You're on your own. Not on your own, but it's up to you on how you want to explore that. You'll participate in certain challenge problems that we've identified, but we tend to try to leave them open-ended somewhat. Or once you solve those or answer those in whatever way you see fit, to kind of continue, whatever direction that you want to go in. And like I said, you'll present results to, right, scientists, and then you'll, participate in team meetings with your group leader, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. For team leads, you're really there to kind of guide the research. Like I said, the teams are 4 to 5 students. Mostly will be undergraduates, but you might have graduate students as a team member as well. You're there as a team lead to kind of provide, technical support to your group, but also, again, explain things to whatever staff scientists we have there, mentors that are there. It's your responsibility as a team lead to make sure that your team is on the same page with the research direction. And then, you'll lead the presentation of the results during the poster session. And then my favorite part is that we get to meet at the end of every day with the team leads to kind of discuss any problems that are going on in the research with the group. It's really cool if you're a team lead. It's cool for us to see how you evolve as a lead, because for the most part, being a team lead, I think, is fun. But it can be challenging, right? Because people are challenging and you're trying to lead a group. And so you have, differing opinions, and it's on you to kind of lead that team into a research direction. So yeah, and we also, as a team lead, during those meetings, we offer you support, not just during those meetings, but during the entire 2-week challenge. Here's like an example of our weekly schedule. So usually the first day, there's a lot of introductions. You'll meet your team. I'll make you play one of those games where you like introduce yourself to people, probably name your team, and then you'll get to know each other. And then we have our subject matter experts actually present the challenge problem. We'll have office hours from those, mentors. And then you'll, be working in your teams individually, however your leaders structure it. And then again, I said, there's a team lead meeting. We have mentor lectures, which we call spotlights. And basically what we do is invite, scientists, different data scientists from the lab to come in. They have a few slides prepared where they talk about their journey to the lab, their current experience at the lab, and some about their research. They answer questions. They're available to you to answer questions about their experience at the lab, and any other questions you have for them. We also offer professional development sessions. So in the past, this has included things like resume writing workshops, resume reviews, general talks about, how to get hired at the lab. What are the things that the lab is looking for. And then we also have, some fun like outings. We've done like virtual NIF tours. Also there's a discovery center that kind of talks about what the lab does, that you're able to tour. Yeah. Oh yeah, which is pertinent to this problem, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So the point is you're not just working on your projects like all day, every day during the 2 weeks. There's definitely some things that are broken up. So with that, any questions, data science challenge at llnl.gov. This is the leadership for the data science challenge. Myself and Mary, Brian Gallagher, he's kind of the data science student lead. He initially led this challenge. Kendall is the admin staff. So if you apply and you get responses, it'll probably be from Kendall. We can't do anything without Kendall. And then the point of contacts for UCR are Miriam and Vagelis. The other cool thing is that the point of contacts will visit during the 2 weeks. So we've had Vagelis out there many times. It's a lot of fun.
slides, we're sharing these slides also. So
Yeah.
you'll have access to them. I saw people trying to take photos. We'll get those out to you if you need them.
Yeah. So the application window is open next Friday, February 6th through March 6th. And the data science challenge this year is in July from the 20th through the 31st. So 2 weeks in the summer. I should note that during those 2 weeks in the summer, like you will be expected to be on site and fully dedicated to the data science challenge problem. So we've had, other requests to participate in the data science challenge while somebody was participating in something else at the same time. And we do want you to be there full time, all in on the data science challenge. More generally, just staying in touch with the Data Science Institute. You can subscribe to receive the monthly newsletter, and this is basically generally what's happening at the lab in terms of data science, data scientists, their research, but also opportunities that might come up, and just general info about the Data Science Institute, which puts on the Data Science Challenge. So with that, we have some time.
I think you had the
Questions.
question. You had your hand up earlier. You want to start?
First question is that you mentioned for graduating that you apply as a team lead, right? Do you have to have like a prior experience with this challenge to apply that, or can you like, my first time, I also apply as a lead?
I think in both cases, we've had both cases. Like, we understand that there's people that want the opportunity to lead. And so if you, in your statement, when you provide, why you want to be a team lead, why you think you'd be a team lead, and why being a team lead would benefit you, you're definitely eligible. So I would say if you're interested in being a team lead, you don't have too much experience, or maybe your only experience is like you led a small course project, or you worked on a team where you took the lead on that project. That could be your experience. Like, no required formal leadership, just depending on how you phrase it in your statement of interest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. If you don't have leadership experience, I would say be forthright about that, but maybe point to some, situation that you think is applicable to leadership qualities, and tell us that, like why you want to be a leader. I think that's important to us.
and on the same end, maybe you are a graduate student. You don't have to be a lead. You
Correct.
could be a member. That's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I don't get in as a lead.
Yes. Yeah.
Mary and Omar, can you repeat the question for online?
Oh, yes.
So the first question for those online was, do you need to have prior experience to as a team lead to be a team lead? And then the follow-up question was, if you don't become a team lead, can you be a team member? And so, yeah, the answer to the last question was you could apply to both. And if you want to prioritize your team lead, make sure you put it in regardless, make sure you put why you think you would be a good team lead. Put that in your statement. Even if you're not selected as a team lead, you're eligible as a team member. Yeah, I'll start repeating the question. Thank you, Kendall.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah, so the question was to be on site. The question was how to address housing and lodging and transportation. So Omar, I'll let you speak to that.
Yeah, so we pay for your housing. Typically, you're housed in a hotel with a roommate. And then we also reimburse for transportation. And
For
yeah,
UCR flight.
for UCR, it's flight. So for those 2 weeks, you will have housing, and typically the hotel will give you breakfast. We provide lunch, and then for dinner, you're kind of on your own.
You have a stipend.
You have a stipend for completing the challenge. Yes. Oh, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
senior, which is like
Mhm.
case.
Uh-huh.
Are you considered associate? So.
Yeah, so the question was if you recently graduated, even if you're going to a master's, even if you're not going to a master's, you're still eligible. In fact, we have had recent graduates in the program. And then in some cases it actually convinced them to pursue a master's or PhD. So you would be eligible. Was there any more to that question?
That was fun.
Okay, yeah.
Any other questions? No questions? Okay, you guys thought you escaped,
Oh,
but you didn't. Can I have you each talk about, am I
there's a
missing?
lot, I think, here. Anyone?
Who wants to
willing?
go first? Because I'm gonna start picking people. Just talk about your experience, like something that you learned maybe or was unexpected about the experience that was positive.
There's a few people that were in the program last year or the
Yes.
year before. I think maybe even 2 years ago.
No,
Yeah.
you all last year? No,
Sean,
you were last year.
Sean and Paimon were 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you want to volunteer, you don't have to, I guess. Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, basically I was in the data science challenge in 2023, and then I met Mary, and basically my main takeaway was I was like I don't know, after my second or third year of undergrad, I was after my second year, but I thought it was really cool because I was generally interested in using machine learning in other disciplines. And at that time, we were working on using machine learning for like looking at ECG data. So like we're diagnosing patients with heart disease kind of using machine learning. So that was my first like actual application of machine learning. I've taken like courses and stuff, which was cool, but it was nice to like work with scientists and actually work on a problem that was relevant to the lab. Like we met with the scientist who introduced the problem, and it was like actually a problem that he was working on at his time in the lab, which was really cool. And I was able to work in that group and solve that, eventually solve it. So that was really cool, just getting the application experience. But also, I think my biggest takeaway is like being able to network with all the scientists and like meeting Mary. And Mary actually helped me like get my internship at the lab last summer, and I worked not directly with Mary, but like on her group, which was cool. So yeah, it kind of introduced me to the tools I needed to solve some of these lab problems, and then kind of network with the right people to make the internship jump happen. So that was kind of my experience.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I know people online, I'm not sure how many there are, but
Yeah.
so there was for those that can hear, Sean participated in 2023, worked on a data science challenge, and I think he basically said I was like the best mentor he ever had. No, I'm kidding. I actually didn't mentor him, but he was on our project, and it's like the reputation that UC Riverside has now is we want to keep working with UC Riverside students. So thank you for sharing, your experience and how you participated in the program 2 years ago, got an internship, and hopefully continue to collaborate with us. I just want to add too, maybe you guys can like agree or disagree with this. The 2-week program you could think of it as an interview. It's your opportunity to we're going to be having these spotlight presenters, researchers at the lab come talk for an hour, talk about what they research. That's your opportunity to understand what they're working on. For instance, Sean was interested in some work that he's now doing with a researcher in the additive manufacturing group. He gave a spotlight talk, and I think that's pretty much how he made that connection to continue to collaborate with him. And so really it is like an interview. You're finding out what we do at the lab every day with a different person and trying to get an internship. So I hope you guys would be excited to do that and be a part of it. But yeah, thank you, Sean.
I won't force anybody to share. Okay.
Knowledge going on. But I think like my experience, just like having a team lead and then working with like the rest of my team, and then like learning alongside with everyone, and also like being able to kind of share whatever I was learning. Just kind of really, it was like a really fun experience and process for me. And I think I learned a lot from my team as well as like the other teams. And then just like kind of being in a place where like everyone is also passionate about what they're doing and like it's really motivating. And I feel like everyone there was really welcoming and helpful. So yeah, that was like my experience.
Thank you. Hopefully you guys heard that online.
We could hear.
Okay.
I was actually on the same team as there, and yeah, I was also like, I found the experience very cool and very enlightening. And like the topic last year was a computer vision topic, which I've never had any experience with before. And I actually really enjoyed it during the challenge, and I'm actually taking a computer vision course right now. And yeah, it's just a great experience, and I learned a lot during it. Thank you.
Else want to share?
So many.
Challenge last year as a team lead. I was managing a team of 5 people. It was actually a very great experience working with people from different backgrounds. One of my teammates was not actually from a computer science background. She was from a math, and we were still able to learn a lot of stuff and collaborate. And another thing about the team lead meetings that Omar was talking about, it was really nice to see that the scientists actually cared and they took our inputs and they genuinely showed interest in our progress. So it was really nice.
That's all the info we have. Please apply, everyone. And thanks for coming. Oh, yes,
When do we hear back? If we got it?
good question. Sometime in April, you'll hear back, yeah.
You can also, I guess, stick around and ask us questions if you want.
Yeah, if you have more questions.
But yeah, if you have a question you want to ask right now.
So the slides sent. I was wondering how.
Yeah, Kendall, how are we sending the slides? Sending them to Miriam?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah, so the organizer, you should be able to get them through her.
yeah, and the recording too, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Kendall.
Thank you.